Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Univesco TV. I'm joined here with the chairman, CEO of Shanghai Silk Road, Alex.
Hey guys.
So we'll be talking about coming back to China. Now, yesterday a new legislation was passed by the Chinese government where if you have three types of visas, which are for family visits, if you have a valid residence permit for work purposes, or if you have a spouse visa, then you're eligible to enter back China. It doesn't necessarily apply to students, but the visas not yet. The visas that expired before the 28th of March, when China closed its borders, they would need a PU letter, and we can assist you with the process of PU letter and have to apply for a new visa. But the ones who have a valid residence permit, valid after 28th of March and currently valid now, you're eligible to enter China now.
Yeah.
You'll have to go through the mandatory 14-day quarantine when you arrive in China. You'll have to book the flights, which vary accordingly to the routes, but you can enter the country and there's no additional process. You don't have to go to the embassy, or you don't have to go anywhere to apply for any additional documentation.
That's good news, actually. It applies for all the countries.
Exactly, and the best part is,
previously there were like a list of countries from the European continent, but now all the countries.
So the way that China gradually opened its borders, it applied to like 8 European countries and South Korea and Japan.
Started slowly
and expanding into the zones where the coronavirus impact isn't much. But now that country, overall, anybody who has a visa, current residence permit, they're eligible to enter back the country, and that's very good news. So most of Alex's clients and my clients who have a valid residence permit can enter the country. 14-day quarantine is according to the residence of where you're staying. So if you're entering Shanghai and you live in Jing'an district, your quarantine will be in Jing'an district itself.
Yeah.
So they'll ask you where you stay, where your place of residence is, where your police registration is. Then they'll allocate the hotel, which varies from 200 to 500 RMBs per night, and they'll put you in that hotel. Now, if you have a place in Shanghai, you can do a 7-day quarantine in the hotel, and the best part is 7 days at home. So you save the 7-day hotel cost, which is very good news. So China has opened up its borders, so one of the first countries to close the borders, but also one of the first countries to open the borders, and that's very good news. A lot of people were waiting for China, anticipating for China to open the borders.
Because there's a lot of business going on here. Obviously, I mean, it goes without saying, China is the world's number 2 economy, so we've got a lot of companies. And actually, first batch of foreign executives were from Germany.
Exactly.
There's around like 3,000 executives were flown back to China.
Yeah.
And after Germany, a couple of other European countries made a deal, and then Singapore followed. And then right now, like Rishi explained, it's good news for all the countries. So the only thing is you have to hold the existing residence permit visa. By the way, let's just give a definition for the residence permit visa.
Yes.
A lot of people assume that residence permit visa is like a business visa as well. Unfortunately, that's not the case, guys. M visa, which some of you might be holding, which might be existing, unfortunately that's not the residence permit visa.
Yes.
Okay, that's very important to note. For example, if your business visa is not expired, you are still required to contact the embassy with a PU letter.
Yes.
Okay, we'll be talking about PU letter now.
Yeah.
So that's something required for people who want to apply for visa to get back to China, even if they're holding existing student visa or existing business visa or existing
tourism visa.
Yeah.
So M visa is the business visa, L visa is the tourist visa, S is the spouse visa generally, and family visa is the Q visa, if I'm not mistaken. So those visas are not necessary. Family visa now is, and it's a residence permit for work purposes. So if you have a company in China, and a lot of our clients who had a company in China, who I still have a company in China, had a valid residence permit and they were not eligible to enter back. Now they can enter back the country. So that's really good news for them. Now with a business visa, if you want to enter back, you still have to apply for a PU letter and go to the embassy and apply for the special permission and get a special visa and then enter the country back. So it's a gradual process.
Exactly. Just wanted to add something. PU letter, most of you know that also in Rishi's channel, my channel as well. We made different videos before on this. So PU letters are issued basically by the Foreign Affairs Office of that city or the district your company is located.
Yes.
So for example, your company is registered in Pudong district of Shanghai, then your company's HR or yourself, you need to get in touch with the Foreign Affairs Office and provide necessary documents. You can contact them, they will give you a list of documents, and then after that your PU letter will take around 1 to 2 weeks to get approved. And with that, you have to write an official invitation letter from your own company to invite yourself basically back to China.
So basically, writing the letter, you have to state to the government why it's necessary for you to go back to China. So therefore, a lot of people, when you have a company in China, ensure that you're paying enough taxes, ensure that you're contributing enough to the Chinese economy. So it's not necessarily like it won't justify your case where you just I have a company in China, I want to go back.
Most of the companies, not most, there are some companies like foreigners don't use. I mean,
exactly.
Dormant companies, for example, unfortunately you cannot use them.
No.
Like recently, a client contacted us from Guangzhou, actually.
Okay.
I mean, obviously they're stuck in their home country, but their company is in Guangzhou. So what we did a little bit background check for their company.
Yes.
So we found that the company has been inactive for quite 6 months, quite a long time. And we checked with the Foreign Affairs Office of Guangzhou, and they said that the preliminary requirements are the company must have at least 5 to 10 people, local people employed, okay, in order to apply for PU letter. And the company must be paying social security for foreigners or for Chinese, at least for 5 to 10 people. So what I'm saying is there are some districts, they have some very strict requirements.
Yes.
Okay, we apologize, guys. There is a little, a
lot of noise here,
passing by.
Yeah.
So anyway, what I'm saying is some districts, some provinces, they might have special requirements.
So pretty much in China, every district or every city even, they follow the central government rule from Beijing, but they also have their own local laws. So you have to ensure, and even in the city itself, every district has its own local laws. So Pudong has different laws than Songjiang district where we register the companies, or Puxi district or Jing'an district. The area, Jing'an district. So you have to ensure where exactly you are based and make sure that you know the local laws, local legislation of that particular district, because they vary accordingly and it depends on the investment. So Guangzhou has different laws than, let's say, Shanghai, than Beijing and Shenzhen even. So,
and going back to the original topic, like right now, based on this new policy, so if you hold existing residence permit visa, you can get back without contacting the Chinese embassy. You don't have invitation, you don't need invitation, you don't need PO letter. And the second category as well, like if your visa is expired after the borders were closed, 28th of March 2020, you can still apply for a new visa without needing any invitation or any PO letter.
Indeed.
That's happening like after the 28th of March, okay? But if your visa is expired before the borders were closed, 28th of March, then unfortunately you will need to get an invitation and PU letter from China. Right? So that's what the new policy is.
That's what the new policy is. It's actually a really great news for people who have a valid residence permit. Yeah. They can just book a flight, but just be careful in a way that the flights are still expensive, by the way.
Of course, you need to find a charter flight.
Exactly. Or even if the airlines are operating, it's only one flight a week. For example,
depending on the country.
China Eastern Airlines used to have one flight a day to London direct.
Yeah.
Now that is one per week. So suddenly you go from 7 to 1 flight a week. So therefore the supply and demand guys so that's quite costly. I was checking a direct flight to London these days is around I think it was like 26,000 RMBs.
Yeah.
One way it is relatively expensive. So just make sure you know that like a flight from Chicago to Shanghai is 50,000 RMBs.
Sure.
It is expensive, but yeah, the good news is something is better than nothing. The borders are
gradually getting better and better. So we are hoping by the end of this year, maybe we might see some new policies and easing of this process, basically.
But the best part is that the borders have opened.
Of course.
And people are anticipating when the borders open. For the students, I would say yes, Chinese government is looking into that, and they will definitely open the borders very soon. Nobody knows when, but hopefully they'll open very soon.
And I want to include something like a lot of people ask, can I include my family into one PU letter? The answer is definitely yes. We have a client from Russia recently. We applied for her PU letter. She's the company director here, also our client. I mean, we formed the company for her. So she's got a family, she's got 4 family members.
Yeah.
And all you have to do is just when you approach us or Rishi's company, you need to mention, okay, how many people, how many family members you have. And when I say family members, they have to be direct family members. At this case, I mean, in this instance, at least. So that means your husband or your spouse, or basically your wife, and the kids. Okay?
Immediate family members.
Yeah, immediate family members.
So it won't necessarily apply to your business partners who could be your family members. So make sure that they're immediate family members, and that's the special.
You can include them in your PU letter. All of you will fly together.
Yeah.
And you have to stay in quarantine and leave the hotel together.
Exactly. Yeah.
So with that, that's it, right?
That's
I mean, if you have any questions, feel free to contact.
So I'll be posting this video on both of our channels. Feel free to contact Alex on his social media or via his email, his contact methods. Same for myself here. Thank you so much for watching.
Thank you guys.
And,
See you guys in the next
please do
one.
like, share and subscribe. If you have any questions, just drop us an email. Thank you.